First, I want to get your take on the World Series, how it ended. I know you're a big baseball fan like us. You're a Dodger fan, which neither one of us are, Chris nor I, but we want to get your take on, how the World Series ended and any rising stars that you saw that you see for the future you're excited about.
I know that the viewership of the World Series is probably the all-time low, but I thought it was a wonderful World Series. I just wish it would have gone 6 or 7 games instead of ending at 5. Yeah. But absolutely loved seeing Corey Seager. I'm a little biased, of course, because I want to see him do well. Right. But man, they have some absolute dynamite players on that team. Garcia, unfortunately, he didn't get to play that last game.
Yeah.
What's his Carter as well. They're just stacked, and I feel like the Rangers. We're going to see a lot more of the Rangers doing deep postseason runs going forward, but awesome series.
I was going to say I liked game 1 and game 2 a lot, and then obviously after that it got out of hand.
Yeah, when did Garcia get injured? Was it the 3rd game, I believe? His back?
I think it was game 4. So he didn't get to play in game 5.
Yeah.
But you got to celebrate, so.
Yeah, I was quite convinced that he was going to – I mean, this kind of tells you how I don't know a whole lot about, baseball currently, especially on the Rangers. But I figured as soon as he was injured with that back injury, automatically the Rangers were probably going to lose because I felt like he carried the team. But I also knew Corey Seager had a big pillar in that, on the field to get him all the home runs in. But I still didn't think that they were going to do very well. But, I was totally wrong, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, and it's crazy. On the biggest stage of your life, you don't get to perform. So it had to have been a very bad injury if, painkillers wouldn't allow.
I know. I would have thought, he would have taken some type of painkillers to some extent and at least participated a little bit at the very last game.
You always hear stories of like athletes taking a bunch of Vicodin in the back, just to make it through a game.
Kind of like, what's his name? I'm blanking here. The Athletic A's, Jose Canseco. I read his book Juiced, and besides steroids, he said a bunch of baseball players were on a ton of painkillers all the time, among many other types of things that would make them perform really well. So I'm surprised that Adolis Garcia didn't do anything like that. But who knows? Maybe he was doing some things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there's probably a lot more lawsuits these days when it comes to stuff like that. So maybe every league has kind of calmed down, but who knows?
Right. And Corey Seager, Sway, I wanted to ask you about that because he was a Dodger. Did you see at the end of the press conference how a reporter asked him why the Dodgers traded him? And you saw his reaction?
You know what I thought about that? I thought of what an asshole reporter that.
Beautiful self out there.
Hey, Corey, I'm just going to ask you the question that I get texted most, especially this whole series. Why did the Dodgers let you go?
I don't know. Other questions? We'll go to Evan.
You don't have an answer?
Corey, to ask a question like that,
yeah,
like one of the greatest moments of his life when the Dodgers are in the rearview mirror. He doesn't think about that. It's like if you were to ask, hey, what do you think about your high school, your middle school? It's so far in the past. It's not something that's front of mind. I just thought that reporter was Bush League for doing something like that.
He took it like champ. I mean, he didn't curse him out. He didn't say anything. He kind of just looked around, and it kind of showed the testament to his leadership and his classiness, because I've seen people try to equate him to an extent of Derek Jeter. I don't know if you agree with that, being the shortstop leader of the team. What do you guys think?
Jeter hated the media, right? He never did interviews. He just hey, I just care about performing on the team. That's kind of a Seager is. He's a quiet dude. Who knows what he's like in real life, but he does his business, and he does it well. He just doesn't want to do the extra stuff, which that's fair.
It's like Marshawn Lynch said, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
I'm here so I won't get fined. I'm here so I won't get fined.
I don't know if you guys have seen Derek Jeter on the, doing the sports casting. Have you guys seen how he's been performing as a speaker? I see Big Papi next to him, and he's not really doing the best that I would have expected in terms of the humor, catching along with Big Papi. But I don't know if that's just me or it just happened to be the stories I came across on TikTok and Instagram where people are pointing that out, because before I didn't notice that. I thought Derek Jeter was doing a great job, but people said he's a little bit dry.
Well, I think that they're both reactionaries, Big Papi and Derek Jeter. I mean, they just recently went viral on the internet with the magician that showed up into the studio.
Oh yeah,
And their reactions, I mean, alone, they've probably got millions of clips on that. You should look that up.
I did. I saw that, but I still didn't think Derek Jeter was as fun as he could have been. But maybe, like Sway was saying, he's a bit serious. He never liked being on camera, but now that he's retired, he's embracing that and becoming a new person in a way. Go ahead,
I think
Sway.
it's going to be more engaging. There was that one clip where Big Poppy brought up those cowboy hats and had everybody wear it, and he refused to wear it. It was like, hey, play the game a little bit. Be fun.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
How are we doing, Poppy?
Oh, great, awesome.
Oh, great. New Yorkers don't wear these.
Let me see.
New Yorkers don't do this.
Dominican Garth Brooks.
Hey, you look like my man from Toy Story.
Woody.
Woody.
Howdy.
That's actually pretty good.
I can't.
I saw that. He's like, no, us New Yorkers don't wear cowboy hats.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell, dude? Like, try and be a little bit more fun. But besides that, I think he's been doing okay. I think Alex Rodriguez, though, what do you guys think of him? Because I've heard rumor that he might go to management now, potentially. I don't know if you heard that for hitting coach.
All right.
I mean, it sounds like it's part of his trajectory. You know, he's that type of guy. He's buttoned up.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen on Instagram Reels and things like that too, that he's like always giving tips on how to bat. And I wish when I was playing baseball, I could have seen that type of stuff. But in general, that wasn't really out there during that time. Even on YouTube, it was like very brand new at the time. But now that he's providing all this information, I'm hoping that, the youth of the generation wants to embrace baseball, especially now that they did the new time management for hitting, and the games are going a lot quicker. I think that might improve the game overall, hopefully.
Yeah, I think like with baseball, it's one of those sports you have to grow up with. You don't really see too many new fans, and this could be one of those ways of bringing new fans.
That would help, especially with Big Boppy there too. As long as Derek Jeter doesn't freaking ruin it for him, but I think that'll be good. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the NBA, they have Charles Barkley and Shaq, and they have a really good crew with Ernie, and that's probably what they're trying to replicate in the MLB world.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah, you gotta get more goofballs on that squad. I think Jeter's too dry for that. You gotta connect with the young.
I think it should be reversed. Alex Rodriguez should take the place of Derek Jeter, more of the spotlight with Big Poppy. Maybe this is just an idea. And then Derek Jeter goes into management because I feel like he would do really well with that. And that's something I like about you both, Sway and Chris. You guys are very funny, have a lot of humor, and that's why I get along with you. You guys have both different types of personalities in your humor. I tend to be a little bit more on the drier side, but that's why I liked having you guys both on to participate. And we'll get into that too, Sway, about your sales and how you added humor and charisma to it. But I want to go ahead and shift over to the Dodgers. Like, what's going on with that, man? I mean, the World Series, they've gone to it. They won it recently, and I don't know. I just see that they continue to choke. Kershaw's not doing too great. So give me your overall thoughts, and then Chris, I'll let you go ahead and reply back to Sway and give us your thoughts.
Can I jump in real quick? So I'm a Padres fan, but I can't let you get away with saying the Dodgers choke. I mean, they've been doing pretty freaking good. You know what I mean? Like, they've gotten their World Series. Like Kershaw's.
But at the very end, they choked, dude.
Yeah. I mean, they just keep getting really far, and they don't always win. But it's hard to say they choke. They're like basically the new Yankees almost, it seems.
Yeah.
He's saying that because I like the Yankees.
Man.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give you my long take. So the Dodgers, they got their 2020. That was cool, right? But the last 3 years, they've just gotten their butt kicked and embarrassed and with these exits during the playoffs. And we take a look at this here. And I think their biggest downfall is that patient approach to hitting. So during a long season, 162 games, it's gonna play out better than worse during that big sample size. You're playing bad teams. You're going against varying levels of pitchers. You get the back end bullpen people, and you can just spank them. Whereas it's completely flipped during the playoffs. You're facing the best pitchers in the league. They're not going to give you anything to hit. They're going to target your weaknesses. They've scouted you pretty well. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, the back end starters on that team are coming into the bullpen, and then you get to the bullpen. So the patient approach doesn't work for the Dodgers in the playoffs. They got to attack. And you look at some of the teams that did really well, the Phillies, the Astros, the Rangers. They had people that just went there and punched that pitcher in the mouth on the first pitch. So I got some stats here, and we'll take a look at this. Like the Phillies, the top three, Schwarber, Turner, and Harper, combined to bat for 314 with 13 home runs. The Rangers, so Simeon, Seager, Carter, and Garcia, batted 291 for 17 home runs. And then we look at the Dodgers, and they just crap the bed. So we had Betts, Freeman. We won't even count Martinez, but we'll do Betts, Freeman, and Muncy. They went 3 for 33 during those 3 games. No RBIs.
Wow.
And that's because they're waiting for that perfect pitch that they're not going to get. They're not going to get walked. These guys are throwing strikes, they're throwing gas. And it just completely ruined their game plan. So the Dodgers got to attack going forward.
Is that a new strategy though? And is that strategy by the manager of the team, or like what is your overall thoughts on that? Is it something they've been doing for many years over the past decade, or is it relatively new?
I think it's since Corey Seager left. So 2020, we had Corey Seager. He's a notorious first pitch attacker. He'll go after that first pitch more often or more than he doesn't. Since then, we've done that patient approach. And even before that, just think of like 2017, which we should have won that. Our guys attacked. 2018, different story, but until they met the Red Sox, that was their approach. But as soon as we lost Seager, I think that culture, that discipline, it went too far.
Interesting. So he really is a leader then, Corey Seager. Yeah. Right?
So there's a formula to win in the regular season and there's a formula to win in the playoffs. Do you think expanding the playoffs hurts the Dodgers?
No, I don't think so, because you're supposed to be the best team, right? The best team's going to find a way to win. The Dodgers, the Braves, they should have found a way to win those series. But their approach, they came in with a regular season approach into a do-or-die playoff. So, and then, of course, you got to play good defense. You got to do all that kind of stuff.
Right. Okay. Now, in terms of like, actually, I want to hold on to that terminology and apply it to sales in terms of the first approach, being aggressive on the first pitch, and whether in sales you should be aggressive at first or whether you should be patient before attacking and trying to get that lead and converting them into a sale. But before we go on to that, I wanted to ask you about Ohtani, considering if he gets traded, because he's a free agent, right? Yeah. If he ends up getting traded to the Dodgers, do you think he would be filling in that role of a Corey Seager where he takes on that leadership role and he gets these people to be more aggressive on the first pitch? Or is that not his way of leading, I guess you could say? Or maybe he's not even a leader. I don't know.
Maybe he's not able to be a leader because of the language barrier. Yeah. But you can lead with results. You can lead with effort. I think that my fear is if we get Ohtani, that they're going to give him that same patient approach, and we're not going to see him smacking 40 home runs again. It's going to go to like 30. So I don't know. Like I would love to see him. We'll welcome him with open arms. I just hope that if we can get him, we change our approach.
That's interesting. That was your question, right, Andrew? Would they welcome him with open arms?
Yeah, would they? And it sounds like, I don't know. I mean, maybe the Dodgers will, the fan base, but will Sway open him, take him with open arms. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound too convincing.
No, I would love to have him. I'm just worried about what we'll do with him. We're not going to. And then, of course, we play it safe with the pitching and all that kind of stuff a year from now when he's able to pitch. Like, how are we going to balance that? It's something that no team's ever experienced before. So.
Right. But with Mookie Betts, I mean, I thought he, to an extent, was like a leader too. So I'm a little bit disappointed to see that he hasn't really brought that A game now that you broke it down in that way, because I never thought of it that way. I didn't know it was a patient approach that they were taking. I just thought that the manager was doing a lot of bad, strategies with the pitchers. But it's a new, you opened a new door to me that I had no idea about. But that's also because I'm not a Dodger fan. So. Yeah.
But even look at the pitching. So in those 3 games, the pitching starting pitchers got 13 outs. 13 outs. That's like 4 innings. And they allowed 13 runs. If you're batting, if you're not able to hit and your pitching sucks that way, you have no chance. And the Dodgers completely imploded.
Well, I mean, for me, I just look at it like, oh, sweet, another person to come destroy Petco Park. You know, I'm not excited about it. I wish they got more bad players instead of good players.
Yeah, is there any possibility that Otani may actually go to like the Yankees? You think? Because that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
I'm thinking Yankees, Giants, Mariners, Dodgers, and maybe a wild card somewhere in there, like an up and coming team.
Boston.
Boston, hey, yeah.
Really? Why Boston?
I mean, if you watch 4 episodes back, Andrew, you'll know why I say Boston. But they have because I kind of broke it down in depth, you know. But what I basically said was Dodgers, Yankees, Boston, and then I'm just going to throw. I think I also said Angels, but I'm also just going to throw in the Padres for fun.
Is that the wild card? Maybe.
Well, maybe we have a big wallet all of a sudden, and it hasn't panned out. As soon as they started spending money, we started losing. So, you know, who knows how it goes?
Right.
You know what? I go to San Diego every now and then for work, and I try to go to games too. And that atmosphere there in Gaslamp when a Padres game is on, it's like going to like one of those East Coast games where everybody's involved. It's so much fun. So, you know, I kind of want the Padres to do well just to be part of that fun environment, but not too well, right?
Right.
I mean, when we beat the Dodgers and it's a home game, it does feel like we won the World Series because everybody. Yeah. I mean, this is our World Series every Dodgers game. You know.
I will give you guys both that the Padres and the Dodgers know how to celebrate and make a game fun to an extent where it's like on the verge of being a little bit much, right? Where there be riots and things like that.
I've actually never been to an Angels game before.
Oh shit! Wow,
you gotta go. Yeah,
you do gotta go.
It is on the way on the Amtrak. I mean, I've thought about it. You know, it's very convenient to get there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice, quiet place. It's like a family-oriented place. I feel like it's like
it's safe. That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I feel. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. Do you know of this Dodgers Instagram group where you can buy tickets? It's like a traveling group. I forget the name of it. It's like a number.
The Pantone. Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
294 or 209, something like that.
Yeah, Pantone.
Yeah.
294. So I used to date a Dodgers fan, right? And she got tickets to a Padres game, right? And I didn't realize she got it from this thing called Pantone 294. And so I was this San Diego fan surrounded in a sea of Dodgers fans, right? And the kicker is there were 2 games in the same day because they were trying to catch up. And earlier, the Padres had won. And so I figured, you know, we got our win out of the way, so now it's going to be their turn. But instead, we continued to win the rest of the day. And it was weird being surrounded by Dodgers fans because, you know, they're not taking it well. I'm the only person repping Padres in this Dodgers island. So I had to figure out a way to sarcastically cheer because some people will kill you. You got to be careful out there. But
yeah,
but it was still fun winning around a bunch of sad people, you know?
Right. So how did you sarcastically cheer though? Because you tend to have a personality where you're, for the most part, sarcastic guy. So I feel like it's very easy for you to sarcastically cheer.
Well, every time the Padres would score, I would say, "Let's go Dodgers" really loud.
Oh, that's.
And people wouldn't know. Like I was kind of talking. I was tricking them. You know.
Oh, that's funny.
Were you decked out in Padres gear too?
Well, I just had a Padres hat on, but I didn't have like a jersey or anything. And it was the blue. So from behind, you might think I was. Who knows, right?
Oh yeah.
Before nobody really caught on.
Uniform.
You blended in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't have
I tricked the Dodgers fans. I'm sorry, but we got to dispel this notion that Padres Petco Park is Dodgers Stadium South. That's ridiculous.
Oh,
I don't know. It's kind of is.
On that.
No, they like to claim like it's their stadium when they come through, just because we don't want to go when they show up because we don't want to get shanked. But,
that's fair.
But I'll go out there. Like I remember one time, like I don't know, it was like 10 years ago, and I was cheering probably way too loud. Like I was trying to make a point. And this older couple behind me was like, "Hey, you're gonna get yourself killed." And so, I settled down after she said that to me. I mean, she was probably right. We were getting crazy,
Yeah, that's a crazy thing about Dodger fans. Like we travel really well, but don't handle loss very well.
Mm.
Well, I mean, and look, I was pushing it. I knew what she was saying. I didn't think she was crazy.